In this video, we're going to talk about how to create a UML class diagram. So UML is widely used in computer science and software engineering as a way to model our computer systems. The class diagram in particular is a shorthand, or at least a structured way that you can share your design for classes with other people. Okay, so in class, we can use it to take an existing class and make a diagram of it, or you can use a diagram as kind of a blueprint to create the class, and we'll be doing both. Okay. So creating the UML class diagram is pretty basic. You can draw them by hand pretty easily. You can create them with something like Google Draw from the Google Docs set of tools, or I'm using an app called lucid.app. That has a free version with limited functionality, but it gets the basic job done. Okay. So the UML diagram is going to consist of three stacked triangles, basically. Okay. So the top one's the smallest. It's where you have the class name. Okay. So we're going to do the clock type example we did from the previous video. So you put the name of the class up here. Okay. Typically, it's going to be centered. It's going to be by itself. Okay. The next section will contain all of the member data, okay? Not the functions. Functions are the second one. So we're going to start with either a minus, it's a little bit bigger if I can, a minus or a plus. Is it public or is it private? In our case, all of our data is private. Okay, we have the HR, colon, and it's of type int. Okay. We have another one that's the min. It's also type int. Okay. And finally, we have the second, sec, which is of type int. Okay, so this again tells us that it's a clock type. The member data that it has are all private. It's the minus sign, HR, min, and sec. Okay, and they're all of types int. Okay, and sometimes to make it a little clearer, we could go ahead and get rid of that little add thing there. I assume you see that, maybe you don't. Okay. So this is going to be all of the member data that we have. Okay, so these in essence, let me do that. It's not weird. Okay, I won't waste time on that. Maybe it's here. I need to do it. Yeah, so these are going to be variables. Member data. Okay, that's what goes in this box. Can I move that? Yeah, that's what goes there. Okay, which leaves down here, we're going to have, move it. Yeah, down here, we're going to have the functions. Okay, and these are the function prototypes, kind of, but it's in its own special format. Okay, so for this one, we have plus because it's a public function. Okay, let's see, these were at 14, is that right? Yeah, so like 14 down here. We have a public function, set time. It takes an int, and an int, colon, it returns a void. Okay, it's a little bit bigger, which messes up that stuff, but you get the idea. Bigger this way, maybe easier. Okay, so that's the set time. Okay, we also have get time, and it takes an int ampersand, an int ampersand, another int ampersand. Okay, and it's constant here, and its return type is void. Okay, another function is the print time, constant, and it's a void function. All these are void functions. Okay. It's a little bit bigger this way. If it'll automatically expand or not, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay. Then we have the increment, space there. Seconds, the void, increment, minutes. So void, these don't take numbers because they just go up by one every time. Mid course. It's also a void. Okay. And finally, we have the equal time. Takes a constant block type as a reference. Constant and returns a Boolean. A little bit wider to make that one work out. Yeah. Okay. So um, that's what it looks like. So we have the clock type. We have in the first, or I guess the second of the boxes, we have the variable types. Okay. How you make those smaller, but there may be a way to make the whole thing smaller if it works. Yeah, I can just compress it down. Yeah, now we can see it all. Okay, so here's our variable or the member data that we have, and we know that they're private and that they're integers. And here we have, these are all public functions. Here's their name. Here is their parameter types. Okay. And again, all these should be bold. I won't take the time to do it, but get the idea. So the set time takes an int, returns a void, get time, so forth, equal time. We put the constant keywords in here. Okay. And the return type always comes after a colon. Okay. So if I gave you this is the complete specification of this class. And you should be able to go from this to the code. Okay. And we'll have other examples of this as we go along. But I wanted to make this a separate video since it's more visual and it's not on the server. Okay. So again, hopefully this makes sense. If not, make sure you ask questions.